Okay, come on, man. He probably wants to get strength too, but wants abs. Nothing wrong with that. Not everyone can just take DECA and get strong and look like you. Actually, everyone can just take whatever they want and can probably get about as strong as me. They can't look like me, but I think anyone can be, you know, my height, 200 pounds with moderate body fat if they decide to go the enhanced route. It's not that hard. Everyone with average genetics could probably do that, but he didn't say he wanted strength. He said he wanted abs, and that's a terrible mentality. So I had to kindly roast, not him, but that mentality, because that's like when a girl walks in the gym and says, I don't want to build muscle, I want to get toned. Okay, well then you can't get toned without building muscle if you're a noob and you haven't trained ever. So yeah. Hey man, I want to drive lift too, but I'm afraid that I might get injured by driving so much. Do you think it's going to make your mobility suffer? Absolutely not, but it could cause overuse injuries. If you're working out in a full range of motion on a consistent basis and stretching, whatever you do in the off time is not really going to hinder that if you make sure to replicate what you're doing in the gym. But if you're doing something over and over and over outside of the gym, you could definitely get an overuse injury, maybe in your foot, in your calf, in your hip, but it doesn't have to do with your mobility, it's just an overuse injury. So basically you do triples until you can do 7 sets clean and then up the weight. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. And every time I say that exact routine, I give Jason Blaha credit, because as much as people like to talk shit about him, he's actually very knowledgeable in the strength game, more knowledgeable than pretty much anyone else I follow on YouTube. He just doesn't look like it because he doesn't have the genetics, so, and he doesn't blast gear. But yeah, he recommends getting to 7 to 10 sets clean, replicating it, maybe replicating it again, and then adding 5 pounds to the bar. So that's what I've been doing. Regarding mobility, is your daily shoe a generic sneaker / running shoe? Could be something to look into. Yeah, my daily shoe is, you know, anything. I used to think that what you wear on a daily basis is very, very important when I had knee injuries and different types of injuries, but now that I've been, you know, using good form in the gym, it really doesn't matter. Unless you're on your feet 24/7, then yeah, look into a soft shoe that has proper support. But as minimalist as you can get away with is going to be your best bet. So Vans with like a thick sole or Chuck Taylors, probably not your best bet for walking around in all day. Something with a soft sole with good balance, not with a big heel or not with tons of, you know, not very wobbly. It's kind of hard, but you need the most comfortable shoe that you can get away with without being excessively soft. So it really depends on your lifestyle. If you sit all day, your shoe doesn't matter. If you stock shelves for 12 hours a day, you're gonna need a very flat shoe, but it's also gonna have to be soft and provide support. So yeah, that's really to each person. So since I'm not on my feet all day, it really hasn't affected me at all. This is a kind of a funny comment. Go to Unflexall page if you wanna learn much more about workouts. I don't wanna learn anything else about workouts. I wanna learn how to squat, how to do pull-ups, how to bench, maybe how to deadlift one day again, because those are the only exercises I genuinely care about. And everything else is very easy. Doing a bicep curl is easy. Doing a lat pull down is easy. If you're screwing that up, you don't know how to perform the compound lifts correctly. If you can do the compound lifts perfectly, then you're probably smart enough to figure out the accessories as well. Bro, how often do you have cheat meals? Since I'm trying to save money on eating out, about 2 times per week. I went out for sushi last night, and I don't know, I just don't even know what cheat meal means. When you eat 4,000 calories a day, how do you even have a cheat meal? Like if you every single day eat 4,000 calories of mostly clean food, you're not gonna have a day where you just eat a 3,000 calorie cheat meal unless you don't eat the whole day. And in that case, you're not busting your calories, so it's obviously not optimal food timing. But if 5-6 days a week your diet is well-timed, well-balanced, and it's 4,000 calories, if one day you just don't eat and then have a 3,000 calorie dinner, it's not gonna affect your physique at all. What are your thoughts on doing just an all-meat diet? Been researching, reading into the diet from Sean Baker. Whoever Sean Baker is an idiot, because an all-meat diet is for idiots. That's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What the hell happened to fruits, vegetables, and starchy carbs, things that we know extend your life, are healthy, are satiating, are good for your colon, fiber. I mean, all-meat diet, what do you just not eat fiber? You could probably die from that. So an all-meat diet, if anyone thinks that's a good idea, accept that you've been fooled and you might be very, very unlearned in that area, and figure it out, because that's very stupid. Bro, then Cavs, are you doing any shows in Colorado? Honestly, I don't feel like competing ever again. To take the super supplements I need to take, I would just have to seclude myself and be alone for 8 weeks. And I mean, while it's like cool to be hardcore and to kill it, I already did it, and I already saw the size I could get, which is this. And if I'm not gonna gain 10 pounds of lean mass and step back on stage without taking more super supplements, I'm honestly not interested. For me to go pro in physique or classic physique, I would just be damaging my health so brutally just to be a really, really bad pro. So I'm just being realistic. This is a good one. I've heard dead hang on pull-ups and chin-ups can put unnecessary pressure on your rotator cuffs. I would say so. I've made this point in another video, if you were to like tape your hands to the bar and literally dead hang, that's probably very bad for your shoulders and elbows. Dead hang for me just kind of means full range of motion. So I'll probably stop using the word dead hang pull-up and just say full range of motion. So dead hang literally is a terrible idea because you're disengaging all your muscles and just hanging on tendons and joints and ligaments, specifically ligaments. Probably a very bad idea. Ligaments connect bone to bone. So you definitely want to keep tension in your muscles and tendons, but you don't want to cut range of motion, so you need to go full range. Would you be able to discuss any forms of treatment for bicep tendinitis, inner forearm? Yeah, I've had bicep tendinitis my entire lifting career, and what has helped me fix it is full range of motion training with lighter weight. So if you're doing lat pull downs with 170 pounds or bicep curls with 35 pounds and you're cutting range of motion, drop that by like 30% and take a break, let your tendinitis go away, which it always will, hopefully. Always did for me after time. And start with lightweight doing full range of motion. Now as you build that strength back in the full range, it should take care of most of the tendinitis. And the rest of it's just gonna come from slowly building strength and making sure you take time off the exercises that hurt it, which are usually gonna be like a chin up or a pull up, hammer curls or supinated curls. So just stop doing those exercises for a bit, focus on your rows, focus on maybe a lat pull down with a grip, hand position that doesn't hurt your bicep. And again, cut the weight, use full range of motion, and avoid overdoing the accessory work. The isolation work is going to flare up your tendinitis. So take it easy on the isolation work. Don't waste your tendon health on that. Get into your rowing, start doing your chin-ups or your pull-downs with good form and neutral grip. And as you gain strength on those, the isolation work shouldn't bother you anymore. And I'll just cover this in the last question. Central nervous system recovers very fast, maximum 15 minutes, at least from weightlifting, so you don't have to worry about it. So my CNS would recover in 15 minutes from weightlifting, meaning if I squatted 100 sets of 3 reps, my central nervous system would recover in 15 minutes. I don't really know the facts about central nervous system recovery, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's crazy because all the coaches that I listen to talk specifically about central nervous system recovery. Maybe you mean like your central nervous system will work the same way, but I don't think your central nervous system fatigue or rate of force production or the synapse rate or the amount of muscle fibers you can innervate with the same movement, I think that would decrease after hundreds of sets of something. So I don't think that that is very accurate. And let's see if there's anything else that I can choose for you guys. Eric the Electric. How much would you charge to come pick up a homie in San Diego? Well, bro, in March, hopefully I'll pick you up in San Diego because I might just be there. Deuces. All right, guys, so today is like the 3rd time, or maybe the 4th time we're hitting this weight for close to 7 reps or sets. I felt very weak on the way to the gym. I forgot to vlog in my car when I got here, but I was gonna say how I don't feel strong. But making sure my form's on point, elbow position, shoulder position, retraction, keeping elbows tracking the same way on both sides, feeling pretty good. So I'm gonna hit this first set, focus on form, and then pushing hard from when I obviously get to the bottom. We gotta lower it right track. Yes. All right, guys, what's going on? RZ Fitness checking in with, I think, the last bench session before my next deload. So on the way to the gym today, I had no confidence with like how strong I was feeling. My right shoulder was feeling not sore, not pained at all, but I just felt like if I didn't have perfect form today and if I pushed and misgrooved anything, that I was gonna miss a rep. Fortunately, I was able to really make sure that my elbows stayed low in this position. Sometimes I start to get a little flared. You guys probably can't tell, but it's maybe an 1/8 of an inch that makes all the difference. But today I was able to bring both elbows down. But from the bottom, if I don't push with a flare, it's harder. It's definitely harder to get that explosive movement. With 235, it didn't matter. It didn't ever hurt. I could just do whatever I wanted. But today I had to specifically pull my rear delts open and really force this motion right here so I could keep my shoulder from caving in. A lot of times when I get lazy, I'll do this and I flare my elbow and my shoulder rotates forward. So today I had to literally pull my elbows to the outside, it felt like I was wrapping them around my back to make sure that my shoulder joint didn't come forward at all. So every single rep, I was bringing the bar down, really trying to almost pull the barbell apart at the bottom, and that makes me lose explosive force in the forward direction, but it's much, much safer, and that's exactly the right way to do it. So today I put my ego aside, hit my 7 reps, and I felt like it was maybe as much as I could possibly do. So before I try to progress more, it's time to let my body relax, come back and repeat this, and then hopefully go up from there. And we officially are going to require a deload. 7 sets, shoulder feels good, kept my elbows down instead of little flare, and specifically the right one. I'm gonna do a little fluff and pump and get out of here. No heavy dumbbells. I'll show you guys that. Legs tomorrow, back the next day, deload. All right guys, so how do you know when you're supposed to take a deload? There's a few ways you can do a deload. Programs often program them into the routine. I used to run Wendler's 531 like in 2012 probably, and it was a 3-week on and then deload. You do something like 70, 80, and 90% on weeks 1, 2, and 3, and then deload on week 4. And it was a severe deload with literally 50% of your working weights for like a third of the amount of sets. So it was almost a joke, but that taught me at a younger age, that deloads are seriously supposed to be very easy and absolutely not make you sore, not make you, just not test you whatsoever. They're very, very light. And the cube method I used to run would have 8 weeks progressing into like a peak, and the 9th week would be a deload or a week off. So basically I've been pushing myself since not that long, maybe January 3rd or 4th, right after New Year's. But I've been going 3 days on, 1 day off, so I've been kind of getting in like a lot of volume, almost a week and a half's worth of what I usually do in a week. So after I finish legs and back on Saturday and Sunday, or maybe I'll take a day off in between there, when I'm done with this 3 days of training, when I come back into the gym, I'm definitely going to run the little 3-day cycle again, come in and bench something in the area of 135, 155, squat maybe 135, and then just do assisted pull-ups for a few sets. Do a tiny bit of accessory work, like a set each, just for blood flow, and then get out. So stay tuned if you guys are interested. The next, well, I'm gonna train moderately intensely the next couple, but the deload's gonna come, so I'll probably reference that in the next couple workouts as well. But deloading, if you wanna plan it yourself, I would say the most important rule of thumb for a deload is to deload when you know that you are getting sore in places that you normally don't get sore. Muscles, obviously, we get sore here and there, but if you have connective tissue soreness, if you have joint pain or joint discomfort or tendinitis, and it's not just from like an accident you had in the gym or an accident you had outside the gym, if you know you're making progress and you feel like you're getting stronger and you're not sure if you're plateauing or maybe you're overreaching a bit and you feel inflammation and tendinitis, that's probably a good time to deload. And around that time, you may find that you're also stalling. So I've hit 250 pounds, I'm just using myself as an example. I've benched 250 pounds for like 5 sessions straight now, and instead of getting stronger and it getting easier, I'm getting more sore in my, well, not really in my body, but I'm starting to feel aches in my shoulders, and the weight is starting to actually feel heavier on the way up. So today, most of those sets, the 3rd rep, on those triples, I was pushing, and halfway up I was trying to accelerate through to finish the motion, and I was just barely able to keep the bar going. Normally, after I pop off my chest, I finish and I can accelerate through the whole motion. Today I got great pop off my chest, and when I tried to continue to accelerate, it didn't really go anywhere. So I know that I'm probably not even as strong as I was last week, or my body's just not able to produce enough force. So if you're a noob in the gym and you're doing linear progression and you're benching 150 pounds, you don't really need to worry about deloading. If you feel like you're getting injured or you start waking up with sore elbows or your elbows are hurting, then yeah, you really should take a deload. If you're more of a beginner, pain in your connective tissue and joints is probably gonna be the best indicator. So if you're new to the gym and you're feeling pain and you've been pain-free and doing really well in the gym, it's probably time for a deload, usually in the range of 5 to 10 weeks or so. 5 on the really, really short end, 10 weeks on the longer end when you'll need to go deload to deload. And if you're advanced, it could be as soon as 3 or 4 weeks. In my case, I've been pushing it really hard for like 22, 23 days. And I've benched so many times and squatted so many times and done so many pull-up sets that I could easily go for a deload and probably get stronger, or go for 2 deloads in a row or something. I really feel like I could use the rest. So if you're a beginner, pain, discomfort, and feeling like you might get an injury is going to be your best indicator. If you're advanced, a plateau and any types of tweaks and pains that you feel coming are also indicators, but you need to watch your strength as well, because a lot of times we're so used to feeling pain, we're so used to pushing through the pain barrier, through training, through injuries at this stage in the game, that you need to really reset. And if you feel any pain during the day in your shoulders or elbows, you need to realize that that's not normal and you should be pain-free. From the waist down right now, my knees and hips, virtually pain-free. The only place I have some pain is right around here because I keep benching and doing so many pull-ups. So overall, I feel good, but I want to feel perfect every single time I train. So if I'm feeling pretty good and I'm not getting stronger, why would I go to the gym to not push more weight and to not feel like my best? So that's pretty much it. I know it's kind of hard to explain because it's really subjective on how you interpret what's going on. But if you're hitting a plateau and you're moving good weight and you're feeling like you've made progress up until that plateau, pull it back a little bit. If you're at a plateau and you start feeling aches and pains and you're like, oh man, that's why I'm plateauing, it's probably not the pain causing you to be weaker. It's probably you struggling through the movements that's causing you to misgroove, to change your form, or to just perform the exercise not as well, and that's going to also lead to soreness. So that's just my 2 cents on it. If you're advanced, deload every 4 to 8 weeks. If you're a beginner, you could probably push it to 10 to 12. So that's just my advice off the top of my head. Hope it helps you guys out. Peace.